Welcome to Beyond the Dark, where we plunge headfirst into the realms of the unexplained, the mysterious, and the extraordinary. I'm your host, Jay Rockwell, and together we'll navigate the shadowy corridors of ufology, explore the world of cryptids, and venture into the cosmic unknown. From extraterrestrial encounters to the secrets of the paranormal, we leave no stone unturned. Join me as we embark on a journey that transcends the boundaries of reality. Good evening, everyone. Hello. I hope everyone had a great weekend. It is Jay Rockwell. This is Beyond the Dark, and we are rolling. It is April 29th. What did you guys do over the weekend? Anything fun? It hit 82 degrees at my house, and I'm a little confused. It was just rainy and cold, and good God. The temperature can never make its mind up here. But hey, tonight's topic is going to be, who are the men in black? I know, a topic that's been done a million times. Most of these have. But diving in a little deeper past, the Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones movie, it's kind of creepy. There are a lot of first-hand encounters out there. And yeah, these guys don't sound too funny or, lively. More like robotic, monotonous. But hey, we're going to get into that right after our first part. I'm working, guys. I'm working on making the first half, and it's not even going to be half. That's kind of what I'm working on. I'm working on the first part of the show with you get the news bits. I'm working on making the news bits even shorter, just giving you a few, and then boom, heading into the main topic and making the main topic a large portion of the show instead of how I used to do it half and half. Again, this is what, episode 14, so like we're still in the infancy stages here. I'm still tweaking, making changes every episode little by little, and eventually we're going to get there to a full-blown format of where I want to be and where you guys are happy, and we're going to have fun, okay? But that's the goal, really. I'm not doing this to make money or anything. It's fun. We're supposed to have fun. I love the community that we've built. We're headed on 20,000 subscribers. Can't thank you guys enough. And that is on YouTube. I know I'm on other platforms as well. The Spotify numbers. You guys listening on Spotify, blowing my mind. The numbers are going up. They've been stale for months, and just about, I think, 3 weeks ago, numbers just started shooting up. So we're seeing a lot more activity on Spotify. So special shout out to the Spotify people. All right, guys, it's April 29th, 2024, and here's what's in the news. Brace yourselves as we dive into a chilling medical mystery that's catching the eyes of experts and hunters alike. We're talking about a disease straight out of a horror story. The zombie deer disease, also known as chronic wasting disease, which might have just crossed species barriers to humans. Recently, 2 hunters tragically passed away under eerily similar circumstances after eating venison from deer infected with this deadly prion disease. Chronic wasting disease, which wreaks havoc in deer, elk, and moose, has always been a concern, but now it's knocking on our door. A medical team from the University of Texas shared insights about a 72-year-old man who developed rapid confusion and aggression, classic signs of something going seriously wrong in his brain. His hunting buddy from the same lodge also succumbed to similar symptoms later on. A detailed examination revealed the chilling cause: Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease. A rare and fatal human prion disease was what took him away. Prion diseases are the stuff of nightmares. Proteins in the brain misfold, go rogue, and start corrupting other proteins, leading to a cascade of brain damage with no cure and no way to even slow it down. It's like dementia on steroids. And by the time doctors figure out what's happening, it's often too late. This isn't just about two isolated incidents. Chronic wasting disease is rampant in wild deer populations across at least 32 states in the US and throughout Canada. And despite the risk, people might still be underestimating the dangers. Studies suggest thousands of potentially infected animals end up as meals every year, with those numbers only expected to grow. Researchers have even shown that this disease can infect mice engineered with human genes, a stark warning that it might not be long before humans are directly at risk. The chilling fact remains. Although we can't confirm that these men were definitely victims of the zombie deer disease, the circumstances are suspicious enough to sound alarms. The doctors are urging caution and vigilance. It's a call to all of us to pay attention to what we're consuming and where it comes from, especially as this could have broader implications for public health. So, as we continue to explore the boundaries of human knowledge and survival, let's keep a keen eye on the developments of this story. It's a grim reminder of nature's complexities and the mysteries we have yet to unravel. Stay tuned, stay curious, and, as always, stay safe out there. Imagine waiting billions of years for a diamond to form naturally deep within the earth. Now, forget that entirely because scientists have just flipped the script. In a groundbreaking development, a team from the Institute for Basic Science in South Korea has figured out how to whip up diamonds in a mere 150 minutes. That's just 2.5 hours. Here's the really cool part. They did it all without the immense pressure usually needed. Traditional methods of making synthetic diamonds could take up to several weeks and involve pressures tens of thousands of times greater than what we experience at sea level. But this new technique? It only needs the same atmospheric pressure you're chilling in right now. The secret sauce here is a unique mix of liquid metals: gallium, iron, nickel, and silicon. The scientists built a custom vacuum system housed in a graphite casing that heats these metals rapidly before cooling them down. They then introduce a blend of methane and hydrogen gases. The carbon atoms from the methane mingle with the molten metal, setting the stage for diamond formation right under the surface. In just 15 minutes, tiny diamond crystals start to pop out. And after the full 150 minutes, you've got yourself a continuous diamond film. It's like a sci-fi movie turned real, where diamonds aren't just forever, they're almost instant. The team believes that with a few tweaks, this method could be scaled up to create larger diamond sheets or even used with other liquid metals to enhance the process. While this diamond making tech is still in the early stages of research, its potential is dazzling. It could revolutionize industries, from electronics to quantum computing, where diamonds are already key players. So keep your eyes on this space. Making diamonds could soon be as easy as brewing coffee, only a bit hotter, at about 1800 degrees Fahrenheit. And that's your cutting edge update from Beyond the Dark. Stay tuned for more gems like this. Lastly, we're diving into a somewhat unexpected guest making waves in the Mediterranean Sea: the invasive lionfish. Originating from the Indo-Pacific region, this striking yet predatory fish has recently been spotlighted in a study by researchers from Wageningen University in the Netherlands. I probably pronounced that wrong. Moving on. Published in the journal Neobiota, the study uncovers how these vibrant intruders have rapidly expanded their territory across the Mediterranean, venturing into colder waters previously thought inhospitable. Now, what makes the lionfish such a formidable invader? It's a generalist predator with a taste for the local fish, preying on species that are crucial for the ecological balance and often unprepared for this alien attacker. Their ability to blend in and strike without warning allows them to disrupt local biodiversity significantly. The implications of this invasion are profound. The Mediterranean, being the largest enclosed sea on Earth, is a biodiversity hotspot home to over 11,000 animal species, many of which are unique to it. The study traces the lionfish's lineage back to the Red Sea, likely hitching a ride through the Suez Canal. Researchers like lead author David Botticini express both awe and concern over the lionfish's adaptability and the silent threat they pose to native species. The study not only sheds light on the current status of this invasion, but also identifies critical gaps in our understanding, pointing towards essential directions for future research which could inform policy decisions aimed at mitigating this ecological crisis. An exciting aspect of this study is its emphasis on the power of citizen science. Regular folks like you and me are contributing to this ongoing battle by tracking and reporting lionfish sightings. This grassroots involvement is proving invaluable in understanding the invasion dynamics and formulating effective control strategies. So, as we witness the lionfish's unwelcome spread through one of the world's most cherished marine environments, it's a call to action for everyone. By staying informed and involved, we can hope to protect the Mediterranean's natural beauty and diversity from these stylish but destructive invaders. Stay tuned and keep your eyes on the seas. Every sighting and every report counts in the fight to preserve our planet's biodiversity. All right, those are your news bits for the week of April 29th, 2024. This is Jay Rockwell on Beyond the Dark, and we're going to take our first break, well, really our only break. I want to give a quick shout outs to Mixkit.co, who provide all the sounds and music that you hear right here on Beyond the Dark. If you're interested in getting your music featured right here on BTD, please hit me up at BeyondTheDarkRadio@Outlook.com. That is BeyondTheDarkRadio@Outlook.com. I'll check you guys out in just a moment. Welcome back to Beyond the Dark. In tonight's episode, we're diving deep into one of the most enigmatic and enduring mysteries of ufology and paranormal lore, the Men in Black. No, not the ones you've seen in the movies, but the alleged real-life figures who show up whenever UFO sightings and other unexplained phenomena occur. So, grab your favorite drink, settle in, and let's explore who these mysterious figures might be. The Men in Black, or MIBs, have woven themselves into the fabric of modern folklore with an aura of mystery and fear. These figures are typically depicted as sinister agents dressed in stark black suits who appear to silence or intimidate witnesses of UFO and other paranormal events. The common description of these individuals is unsettlingly uniform. They are often noted for their impeccable dark suits, white shirts, and black sunglasses, covering eyes that are said to feel piercing and cold. This eerie narrative first took root in the 50s with a series of encounters that catalyzed their legend. One of the earliest and most influential accounts came from Albert K. Bender, a well-known UFO researcher in the 50s. Bender claimed that after compiling evidence that he believed could prove the existence of UFOs, he was visited by three men dressed in dark suits. These individuals warned him with such intensity that he decided to halt his research and disband his burgeoning UFO group. Following Bender's encounter, stories of the Men in Black began to percolate through the UFO community, each tale adding layers to their mystique. Further accounts continued to surface throughout the 1960s and 70s. John Keel, author of the Mothman Prophecies, chronicled various Men in Black encounters in his research into paranormal phenomena, describing them as deeply unsettling, robotic in their movements, and often possessing unnatural features like extremely pale skin or an oddly smooth face, devoid of wrinkles or facial hair. Their mode of speech, too, was often reported as mechanical and devoid of normal human inflections. In many of these stories, the Men in Black were not merely messengers, but also wielders of threats. Witnesses often reported not only a deep sense of dread during these visits, but also strange occurrences preceding or following these encounters. Mysterious phone calls where the line would emit odd sounds, or electronic equipment failing inexplicably. This pattern added a sinister overtone to their appearances, suggesting they had access to technologies or knowledge far beyond that of the average person, or even the typical government agent. The psychological impact of these encounters on witnesses was profound. Many reported feeling watched or followed in the days before and after the visits, leading to paranoia and anxiety. The isolation felt by these individuals was often exacerbated by the disbelief of others, further entrenching their fear and confusion. This emotional turmoil suggests that whether the Men in Black are real or imagined, their effect on individuals is tangibly distressing. As these tales spread, they were emboldened by the backdrop of Cold War paranoia. The fear of infiltration by foreign agents made the concept of the Men in Black resonate even more with the public. They became a perfect foil for the times, embodying the intersection of government conspiracy, alien visitation, and the shadowy side of human psychology. Their narrative served both as a warning and as a manifestation of collective fears, reflecting societal anxieties about what might be lurking in the unknown. Despite, or perhaps because of, their mysterious nature, the Men in Black have become a staple of UFO lore, appearing in countless books, television shows, and films, transforming from whispered anecdotal encounters to a prominent cultural phenomenon. Each retelling reinforces their legend, blurring the lines between fact and fiction, leaving us to wonder about the nature of their existence. Are they guardians of earth shattering secrets? Mere figments of collective imagination? Or something else entirely? The origins of the Men in Black are as varied and complex as the reports of their visits. Different theories have evolved to explain who these mysterious figures might be, each adding a layer of complexity to our understanding of these visitors. Let's explore some of the most intriguing theories about the Men in Black and try to piece together a clearer picture of their potential origins. One of the most popular theories suggests that the Men in Black are government agents. This theory posits that they are part of a secret program designed to control information regarding UFOs and other paranormal phenomena. Proponents of this view believe that the government has a vested interest in maintaining public ignorance about extraterrestrial activities to prevent panic and to control the narrative around technological advancements derived from alien technology. According to this theory, the Men in Black are trained to intimidate and silence witnesses, ensuring that stories of alien encounters and other unexplained phenomena do not gain widespread credibility. The idea of government involvement is bolstered by historical events such as the Roswell incident in 1947, which we did cover, I believe, in our first episode of Beyond the Dark. This was where the military's brief acknowledgement of a flying disc was quickly retracted and replaced with explanations of weather balloons. This rapid shift in narrative feeds into the notion of a government cover-up, supported by systematic efforts to discredit and silence witnesses. If Men in Black are indeed government agents, their existence could be an extension of such efforts, employing more direct and intimidating tactics to keep secrets out of the public domain. Another fascinating theory is that the Men in Black are aliens themselves, disguised to blend in with human society. This theory suggests that their mission is to monitor and perhaps manipulate human activity related to extraterrestrial interactions. Their odd behaviors and unnatural appearances, often noted by those who encounter them, support the idea that they might not be human. Their reported abilities appear and disappear abruptly, along with their sometimes robotic mannerisms, could be signs of alien technology or biological differences. This alien theory ties into larger themes of control and surveillance by extraterrestrial beings. If true, it implies that alien civilizations are not only aware of Earth, but are actively engaging with and possibly steering human consciousness and development. Under this scenario, the Men in Black could be operatives working to keep their presence hidden, managing humanity's exposure to the wider universe in ways we don't yet understand. A more esoteric theory posits that the Men in Black could be visitors from another dimension or time. This aligns with some of the more bizarre aspects of their behavior and capabilities that don't neatly fit within the framework of human technology or biology. Interdimensional theory provides a context for their ability to know intimate details about the lives of those they visit, as well as their seeming omnipresence and ability to manipulate physical and temporal aspects of the environment. If they are interdimensional travelers, their interest in Earth's paranormal and UFO phenomena might be part of a broader goal to study different timelines or realities. Their interventions could be attempts to correct or maintain timelines, ensuring that certain events unfold according to an unknown cosmic plan or directive. From a psychological and sociological perspective, the Men in Black could be manifestations of cultural anxieties. This theory suggests that they are not real in any physical sense, but are instead archetypal figures born from human fears about government, privacy, and the unknown. In this context, the Men in Black are modern boogeymen, representing the intrusion of governmental and alien forces into personal lives. Their appearances in times of high stress and confusion could be mass sociological reactions to deeper fears about control and autonomy in the face of unexplainable phenomena. It's possible that the truth behind the Men in Black is a synthesis of these theories. They could be covert government operation inspired by genuine extraterrestrial encounters, embellished by public paranoia, and dramatized by media portrayal. Alternatively, their mythos could be a conglomeration of misinterpreted interactions with unusual but earthly individuals, woven into a narrative that serves both to entertain and to explain the unexplainable. As we explore these theories, it's crucial to maintain an open but critical mind. The phenomenon of the Men in Black resides at the intersection of reality and myth, government secrecy and science fiction, fear and fascination. What remains undeniable is their persistent place in the world of ufology and conspiracy theories, challenging our perceptions of reality and authority. While the more fantastic theories about the Men in Black captivate the imagination, there are also several more grounded explanations that seek to demystify the phenomenon. These theories provide alternative viewpoints, suggesting that the Men in Black may be less about extraterrestrial or supernatural phenomena and more about human psychology, societal reactions, and misinterpretations of mundane events. One plausible explanation for many of the Men in Black encounters is the misidentification of ordinary people as sinister agents. In the heightened state of anxiety following a strange or unexplainable event, such as a UFO sighting, witnesses may be more prone to interpret the appearance and questions of government employees, journalists, or curious bystanders in a more menacing way. For example, a witness might see an insurance investigator or a federal employee in a suit as a threatening figure simply because they are already feeling vulnerable and exposed. Furthermore, the attire of the Men in Black, black suits and sunglasses, has long been a standard for various professionals who might be investigating unusual reports, including FBI agents or other government officials. The association of these clothes with covert operations, largely due to their portrayal in films and television, can lead witnesses to connect their presence erroneously to their own experiences with the unexplained. Psychological factors also play a significant role in the formation and propagation of the Men in Black mythology. Humans have a tendency to remember and recount extraordinary explanations over mundane ones, especially when dealing with memories of stressful or confusing events. This cognitive bias can transform a relatively normal interaction with an investigator or an official into a mysterious and threatening encounter. Social influences, including popular media, also significantly shape our perceptions of such encounters. Movies, books, and television shows that portray Men in Black in a particular light can influence how individuals interpret their experiences. Once the idea of the Men in Black is planted in the cultural consciousness, it becomes a template that many use to make sense of otherwise inexplicable occurrences. It is also important to consider the possibility of hoaxes and fabrications. Some reported encounters with the Men in Black may be entirely made up for attention or as part of a deliberate attempt to create mystery or sow misinformation. In the world of UFO enthusiasts and paranormal researchers, being visited by the Men in Black could be seen as a badge of honor or proof of the significance of one's findings. Incent- can't say that one. Incentivizing embellishment or outright fabrication of such visits. A more complex angle considers the Men in Black as part of a deliberate government disinformation campaign designed to distract or discredit those digging too deeply into sensitive topics. By fostering a narrative that includes intimidating visits from mysterious agents, authorities could muddy the waters around legitimate inquiries into unexplained phenomena, leading researchers and the general public to question the credibility of all involved. This theory aligns with tactics known to have been used by intelligence agencies in the past, where disinformation was a tool to manipulate perception and behavior. Deep state, anyone? Finally, some explanations delve into the overlap between paranormal phenomena and psychological experiences. Conditions such as sleep paralysis, temporal lobe epilepsy, or other neurological anomalies can create vivid hallucinations and sensations of presence, often interpreted as supernatural or extraterrestrial encounters. In the confusion following such experiences, the brain may misinterpret or confabulate elements of memory, incorporating cultural elements like the Men in Black into the narrative to make sense of the inexplicable. Or is that just the deep state spreading disinformation? All right, I don't want to go off the rails here. But understanding the Men in Black phenomenon likely requires a synthesis of these explanations. While some encounters may indeed be the result of a government activity, whether mundane or deceptive, others could stem from psychological phenomena, societal influences, or simply the human propensity to seek patterns and meaning in the chaos of everyday life. And now that we've covered the general and the theories and some possible explanations, I would like to really get into some key encounters with who the Men in Black could be. What could they be? We're going to start off with Albert Bender. Albert Bender's encounter with the Men in Black in 1953 is often regarded as the seminal event that catapulted the Men in Black into the realm of significant paranormal phenomena. His experiences laid the groundwork for many of the narratives and characteristics associated with these mysterious figures today. Let's delve into the details of Bender's unsettling encounter and the profound impact it had on his life and the broader UFO community. Albert K. Bender was a highly intelligent, albeit eccentric, individual with a deep fascination for the paranormal. In the early 1950s, Bender founded the International Flying Saucer Bureau, IFSB, an organization dedicated to researching UFOs and gathering reports from those who claim to have seen them. Bender's interest in UFOs wasn't just a hobby, it was a passion that drove him to seek out others who shared his curiosity and concern about what might be lurking beyond the known world. In 1953, Bender's life changed dramatically after a series of eerie experiences. It began with Bender developing a complex theory about the origins of UFOs, which he believed he was close to proving. His theory suggested that UFOs might not be of extraterrestrial origin, but rather something even more extraordinary. Before he could unveil his findings, Bender was visited by three men dressed in black suits. These individuals did not appear ordinary by any means. Their presence exuded an aura of menace and mystery. The men informed Bender that he had ventured too close to the truth and must cease all research and publication related to the UFOs. The warning was stern and intimidating, with a clear message: disclose nothing or face dire consequences. Bender was left shaken, not just by the threat, but by the men's knowledge of his private research and their inexplicable ability to communicate thoughts directly into his mind, a phenomenon that left him deeply distressed. Following the encounter, Bender suffered from severe headaches, experienced terrifying visions, and endured mysterious disturbances in his home. Objects would move without explanation, and he often felt a pervasive sense of being watched. The psychological toll was immense, leading him to suffer from anxiety and paranoia. The once enthusiastic and outgoing researcher withdrew from the UFO community, shutting down the IFSB and ceasing his communications about extraterrestrial activities altogether. Bender's encounter with the Men in Black had a chilling effect on UFO research during a time when Cold War anxieties already made the topic of extraterrestrials a subject of government interest and societal fear. His story spread through the small but growing community of UFO enthusiasts, instilling caution and fear among those who might have considered pushing against the boundaries of accepted narratives. Years later, Bender elaborated on his experiences in a book titled Flying Saucers and the Three Men. In it, he described the Men in Black in more fantastical terms, suggesting that they might have been supernatural beings with a deep understanding of the universe, which only added layers to the mythos surrounding them. His book mixed elements of horror with science fiction, depicting the Men in Black not just as silencers of truth, but as gatekeepers of cosmic secrets. Albert Bender's encounter with the Men in Black serves as a cornerstone of Men in Black lore. It encapsulates the core themes of mystery, fear, and suppression that have come to define the phenomenon. Bender's story, whether fully believed or viewed with skepticism, challenges our understanding of what might be possible in a universe that remains largely unexplored and misunderstood. This account of Bender's experiences not only enriches the tapestry of Men in Black counters, but also encourages a deeper inquiry into how and why such stories emerge, persist, and evolve within the context of cultural and societal fears and fascinations. As we continue to explore other encounters with the Men in Black, Bender's narrative reminds us of the powerful impact personal experiences and storytelling have on the collective psyche in the fields of ufology and paranormal research. Few stories stand out as distinctly as the encounter experienced by Dr. Herbert Hopkins, a respected family physician from Maine who found himself embroiled in the enigmatic world of the Men in Black under highly unusual circumstances. This incident not only adds to the mysterious aura surrounding these figures, but also provides a chilling narrative that has been analyzed and debated by ufology enthusiasts for decades. In September 1976, Dr. Herbert Hopkins was working as a consultant on a UFO case in Maine. His role involved exploring the evidence and providing medical opinions on the physical effects of supposed UFO encounters on witnesses. At this time, UFO sightings were a topic of considerable public interest, and Hopkins had developed a reputation for his open-minded yet scientifically grounded approach to such phenomena. One evening, as Hopkins was alone at home, his wife and children being out at the time, he received a phone call from a man claiming to be an activist in the UFO community, who asked if he could visit Hopkins to discuss the UFO case. Intrigued and eager to share his insights, Hopkins agreed. The man stated that he would be there within minutes, which, considering the remote location of Hopkins' home, was the first sign that this was no ordinary visit. As promised, the visitor arrived almost immediately after the call. Hopkins described the man as wearing a neatly tailored black suit, white shirt, and a black tie. Classic Men in Black attire. The man was ashen-faced, with starkly contrasting red lips and a demeanor that was both unsettling and devoid of warmth. His appearance and behavior were not just intimidating, but bizarre. His movements were stiff, almost robotic. Upon entering Hopkins' house, the visitor's conversation immediately centered on the UFO case. However, his interest seemed more focused on convincing Hopkins to cease his investigation rather than gathering information. The man had an unsettling level of knowledge about Hopkins' work and personal life, including details that Hopkins had not shared publicly. As they talked, several aspects of the man's behavior and physical appearance alarmed Hopkins. The visitor's voice lacked any inflection or emotion. It was monotonous, adding to the eerie nature of the exchange. At one point, the visitor instructed Hopkins to destroy any material he had related to the UFO case. To emphasize his point, he ordered Hopkins to erase one of his own hypnotic regression tapes he had on hand. The visitor remained silent and motionless as Hopkins complied. Perhaps the most disconcerting moment came when the visitor seemed to be unaware of a common human experiences. For example, he requested a coin from Hopkins, held it in the palm of his hand, and appeared to will it to dissolve into nothing, claiming it would never be seen again on this plane. Then he made cryptic comments about energy and disappeared coins, suggesting that his abilities were beyond the ordinary. After making his point, the man abruptly stated that his energy was running low and that he must leave. His departure was as quick and mysterious as his arrival. He left the house and vanished into the night, leaving Hopkins shaken and bewildered. Hopkins later reported that he was genuinely afraid during the encounter, feeling as if he was in the presence of someone utterly unnatural. In the days that followed, Hopkins was left to ponder the reality and implications of the encounter. He continued to feel uneasy and watched, and although he remained active in the field of ufology, he was significantly more cautious about how he pursued his research. The encounter with the men in black profoundly impacted his views on the phenomenon and his personal security. This encounter remains one of the most detailed and disturbing Men in Black stories documented. It highlights several key aspects of the Men in Black mythology: their intent to suppress information, their inexplicable knowledge and abilities, and their unsettling, almost supernatural presence. For Hopkins and the broader community interested in paranormal phenomena, the experience served as a stark reminder of the mysteries that may lie beyond the boundaries of understood reality and human experience. In the early 2000s, the famous Dan Aykroyd, a celebrated actor and comedian known for his fascination with the paranormal, experienced a peculiar encounter that would fit seamlessly into the lore of Men in Black. This incident occurred while Aykroyd was heavily involved in producing a television show titled Out There, which was intended to explore a wide range of topics related to the paranormal, including UFOs and extraterrestrial life. The encounter is particularly intriguing because it involves a direct interaction with an individual who exhibited classic Men in Black characteristics, and it coincided with mysterious circumstances surrounding the cancellation of his project. At the time, Aykroyd was in downtown Manhattan, working on Out There. He was taking a break outside the studio when he decided to step outside and smoke a cigarette. He answered a call from Britney Spears, who was asking him to appear on Saturday Night Live with her. As he spoke on his phone, Aykroyd noticed a black Ford sedan pull up on a nearby street. The vehicle was nondescript, an all too common choice for those purported to be Men in Black, which did little to arouse suspicion initially. Out of the vehicle stepped a tall man, who could easily be described as peculiarly out of place. He was dressed in a black suit, complete with a black hat, a stark contrast to the casual and diverse attire typical of the New York City streets. Aykroyd described the man as having an unsettling appearance, with a pallid complexion and an expressionless face, features often associated with the Men in Black. The man seemed to stare directly at Aykroyd, maintaining intense eye contact, and then proceeded to give him a discerning once-over, which Aykroyd felt was both thorough and unnerving. However, what added an additional layer of mystery to this encounter was that after a few moments of staring, the man returned to his vehicle, and the vehicle simply disappeared. Later that day, upon returning to the studio, Aykroyd received a call that would add a chilling context to the earlier encounter. He was informed that his show Out There was to be abruptly canceled. No clear explanation was provided. All that was relayed to him was that the show would not continue and that he should cease all related activities immediately. The show had already completed several episodes and was gearing up for broadcast, making the timing of the cancellation all the more suspicious. The lack of explanation and the abrupt nature of the cancellation, coupled with the bizarre encounter earlier in the day, led Aykroyd and others to speculate about the involvement of the Men in Black. Aykroyd himself pondered whether the man in black had been a government agent sent to warn or intimidate him indirectly, possibly due to the sensitive nature of some of the content his show intended to air. Reflecting on the encounter, Aykroyd has expressed his belief that there may be entities, whether governmental or otherwise, that actively monitor and possibly suppress information related to UFOs and other paranormal phenomena. He noted the strange coincidence of the encounter with the Man in Black and the sudden cancellation of his show, which dealt explicitly with topics that are often considered fringe or controversial. This encounter raises numerous questions about the extent to which information regarding the paranormal is monitored and controlled. If Aykroyd's suspicions are accurate, it would suggest a deliberate effort to manage the public's exposure to certain types of knowledge, which might be deemed as threatening to the status quo or sensitive for public knowledge. It also illustrates the enduring impact and seriousness with which individuals, even those of celebrity status like Aykroyd, regard their experiences with the Men in Black. Dan Aykroyd's experience is a compelling addition to the collection of MIB encounters. It intertwines the realms of celebrity, media, and the unexplained, providing a modern context to the age-old narrative of mysterious figures who emerge from the shadows to obscure the truth. Whether seen as a cautionary tale or merely an intriguing anecdote, it serves as a reminder of the persistent intrigue surrounding the Men in Black and their place within the paranormal phenomena. The Maury Island incident is one of the earliest and most controversial encounters associated with the Men in Black. Occurring in the summer of 1947, just days before the famed Roswell crash, this incident not only predates many of the classic UFO encounters, but also introduces several elements that would become staples in UFO lore, including mysterious government agents. Let's dive into those details right now. The incident took place near Maury Island, which is located in Puget Sound, Washington. Fred Krisman and Harold Dahl were harbor patrolmen working on the island collecting logs when their ordinary workday took an extraordinary turn. According to Dahl, on June 21, 1947, as he was on his boat, he witnessed 6 donut-shaped objects hovering about 2,000 feet above the boat. One of the objects appeared to be in distress, dropping what Dahl described as metallic debris, some of which hit his son Charles, injuring him, and killed their family dog. The day after the sighting and the harrowing experiences with the falling debris, Harold Dahl reported a visit by a man in a dark suit. According to Dahl, the man drove a black Buick and invited Dahl to a local diner for breakfast. There, the man discussed the sighting in great detail, without Dahl having told him anything about it beforehand. This man allegedly warned Dahl not to discuss the incident or bad things would happen. The mysterious man's knowledge of the incident and his ominous warning are hallmark characteristics of what would later become associated with Men in Black encounters. This visitation is particularly significant because it is one of the first recorded instances where an individual described an interaction with a man in black in relation to a UFO sighting. The plot thickened when Dahl and Krisman reported the incident to their employer, who then contacted a private investigator, Kenneth Arnold. Arnold was already famous for his own sighting of 9 high-speed objects flying near Mount Rainier, Washington, which had occurred earlier that month and had popularized the term flying saucers. Arnold, in turn, brought up the matter to the attention of the Air Force. 2 intelligence officers, Captain William Davidson and Lieutenant Frank Brown, were dispatched to investigate. They met with Krisman and Dahl, collected some of the strange debris, and began their journey back to their base in California. Tragically, the plane they were traveling in caught fire and crashed, killing both officers. This tragic accident fueled further speculation and conspiracy theories, with some suggesting that the plane had been sabotaged to keep the officers from reporting back on what they had found. The Maury Island incident is mired in controversy and skepticism. Some investigators have dismissed the incident as a hoax, possibly orchestrated by Dahl and Krisman for attention or as a bizarre form of labor strike action, as both were involved in disputes with their employer at the time. Adding to the doubts, Krisman was later implicated in various other dubious activities, including claims of underground cities and involvement in the JFK assassination conspiracy theories. However, despite these doubts, the story persists in UFO lore as a significant case, primarily due to its connection to the Men in Black. The timing of the incident, occurring in the nascent stages of modern UFO sightings, and the subsequent visit by a mysterious government agent set a precedent that would echo through UFO conspiracy theories for decades. The Maury Island incident has had a lasting impact on UFO culture and the mythos of the MIB. It represents an early example of the intertwining of American Cold War anxieties, emerging UFO culture, and the shadowy figures that seem to patrol the edges of these incidents. Whether true or fabricated, the story embodies many elements that continue to intrigue and inspire the field of ufology, contributing to the ongoing debate over the existence and influence of the Men in Black. In conclusion, the Maury Island incident, with its mysterious aerial phenomena, tragic aftermath, and the ominous figure warning silence, remains a captivating chapter in the history of UFO encounters. It serves as a case study in how UFO sightings can capture the public imagination, influence government actions, and inspire the mysterious lore of Men in Black that persists in both culture and conspiracy to this day. In 1987, a peculiar encounter took place involving Peter Rochowitz, who, for the sake of privacy or perhaps intrigue, was referred to by the pseudonym Michael Elliott during the reporting of the incident. Peter, a scholar with a keen interest in folklore and the paranormal, found himself unexpectedly playing a central role in a Men in Black encounter, which not only challenged his skepticism, but also provided a first-hand account that would intrigue researchers and enthusiasts in the field. The event occurred in a seemingly mundane location that one would not typically associate with the mysterious and ominous MIB, a university library. Peter was engaged in his doctoral research, perusing materials relevant to his studies in the folklore section. The tranquil atmosphere of the library, with students and academics absorbed in their studies, was about to contrast starkly with the surreal experience that unfolded. While seated at a table engrossed in his reading, Peter noticed a tall, thin man wearing a black suit enter the library. The man's appearance was striking, not just his attire, which was impeccably tailored, but also his demeanor and the pallor of his skin, which gave him an almost ethereal quality. The man approached Peter, his movements smooth yet unnervingly precise, as if choreographed. What made the encounter initially disconcerting was not just the man's sudden appearance, but his intense focus on Peter, despite the library being populated with other patrons. The man stood over Peter, who felt an inexplicable sense of unease rising within him. Without any preamble, the stranger addressed him directly, his voice low but clear, asking if Peter was enjoying his reading. The question, though seemingly innocuous, carried an undercurrent of significance that Peter couldn't immediately place. It was as if the man knew exactly what Peter was researching: UFO phenomena and folklore, subjects often linked to the Men in Black themselves. The conversation that followed was even more bizarre. The man began to discourse on the dangers of searching for hidden knowledge, his words laced with veiled threats and cryptic warnings. He suggested that some truths were best left undiscovered, implying that Peter's research could lead him into realms of knowledge that were better off unexplored. The man's eyes, hidden partially behind dark sunglasses despite being indoors, seemed to pierce through Peter, making him feel as though his thoughts and intentions were being read. As abruptly as he had approached, the man concluded his warning and left, his departure as smooth and silent as his arrival. Peter was left sitting there, bewildered and disturbed, with more questions than answers. Who was the man? Was he a government agent, an otherworldly visitor, or simply a figment of collective paranoia made flesh? The encounter left a significant impression on Peter, altering his perspective on the Men in Black lore. No longer could he regard such stories as mere elements of folklore without acknowledging the deeply unsettling personal experience that mirrored those tales. Peter's encounter is particularly notable because of his background in folklore. His academic stance provided a framework for understanding not only his experience, but also how such encounters fit into larger patterns of myth and reality. This incident prompted him to delve deeper into the Men in Black mythology, exploring not just the surface narratives, but also the psychological and sociological implications of such encounters. He posited that these experiences might serve as modern manifestations of cultural anxieties about surveillance, government secrecy, and the unknown. Peter's encounter encourages a multidisciplinary approach to the Men in Black phenomena, suggesting that these stories can be viewed not only as literal events, but also as symbolic narratives reflecting broader societal fears. The 1987 library encounter of Peter Rochowitz under the alias Michael Elliott stands as a compelling narrative within the Men in Black lore. It blends the eerie details typical of such encounters with introspective insights from a witness who is both a scholar and a reluctant participant. This incident serves as a bridge between anecdotal legend and academic analysis, offering a unique perspective on the enduring mystery of the Men in Black. Paul Miller's encounter with the Men in Black is one of the lesser known but highly intriguing cases that contribute to the eerie lore surrounding these mysterious figures. This incident not only involves a close encounter with what Miller believed to be extraterrestrial life, but also a subsequent visit by the Men in Black, which left him shaking and questioning reality. Let's dive into those details of another chilling encounter. In March 1961, Paul Miller, an Air Force serviceman, and 3 companions were returning home after a hunting trip when they reportedly encountered a luminous, disc-shaped object in the skies of Minot, North Dakota. According to Miller, as they watched in awe and disbelief, the UFO suddenly landed on a nearby field. Reacting on instinct and perhaps against better judgment, Miller and his companions decided to investigate. As they approached, they claimed that 2 humanoid figures dressed in some sort of metallic clothing emerged from the craft. Fearing for their safety, Miller and his friends prepared to flee, but not before Miller instinctively fired his rifle at one of the figures. They then quickly returned to their vehicle and sped away, with the UFO purportedly taking off and vanishing into the night sky. The journey home was fraught with tension and confusion. Miller and his companions discussed what they should do about the incident. Should they report it? Who would believe them? Before they could come to a decision, they realized they had lost time, a common element in many UFO sightings where witnesses cannot account for missing hours during their encounter. For Miller, nearly 3 hours had elapsed inexplicably. The next day, while at work at the Air Force Base, Miller received a visit from 2 men in black suits. These individuals did not provide any identification, but they claimed to be government agents. They asked to speak with him about the incident the previous night. Miller noted how peculiar it was that he had told no one outside of his immediate family about the encounter, yet these men seemed fully aware of it, down to specific details that he hadn't shared with anyone. The men were described by Miller as menacing. They had an air of authority and intimidation that was palpable. They reportedly told Miller that it was in his best interest to forget what he had seen and warned him of dire consequences should he choose to speak publicly about the incident. The tone and the implied threat left Miller with a deep sense of unease. Following the visit from the Men in Black, Miller was left profoundly disturbed, not just by the initial encounter, but also by the subsequent visitation, which suggested surveillance and an attempt to control information. He experienced anxiety and paranoia, common psychological responses reported by many who have claimed encounters with the MIB. The fear of being watched or monitored persisted, affecting his daily life and mental health. Miller's encounter raises several questions about the nature of the Men in Black. Were they really government agents, as they claimed, or something else? Their knowledge of the incident, the timing of their visit, and their behavior seem to suggest a level of surveillance and capability beyond that of ordinary law enforcement. The encounter also fits into a broader pattern often seen in Men in Black cases. Witnesses of UFO phenomena experiencing visits from individuals intent on suppressing their accounts. The consistency of this pattern across different cases helps to sustain the sinister reputation of the Men in Black within ufology. Paul Miller's story, like many others involving the MIB, has seeped into the fabric of UFO and conspiracy lore, embodying the archetypal narrative of suppression and control associated with the unknown. Theories about who the men in black might be, government agents, alien operatives, or something else, continue to be fueled by such encounters. Miller's experience contributes to the ongoing dialogue and debate about the extent of government involvement in UFO phenomena and the possible existence of an agency tasked with managing public perception of such events. This narrative of Paul Miller's unsettling encounter not only provides fodder for conspiracy theorists, but also challenges our understanding of reality, authority, and the unknown. It remains a compelling chapter in the larger story of the Men in Black, prompting us to question what lies beyond the margins of the understood and the accepted. Danny Gordon was a radio personality who became inadvertently entangled in the enigmatic world of the Men in Black due to his intense interest in a UFO sighting wave in Wytheville, Virginia. His encounter with these mysterious figures offers a compelling glimpse into the intimidation and strangeness often reported by those who have crossed paths with the Men in Black. In 1987, Wytheville was abuzz with reports of multiple UFO sightings, attracting considerable media attention. Danny Gordon, a keen and community-minded journalist, decided to investigate these sightings, not realizing that his pursuit would lead him into a mysterious and potentially dangerous situation. He held a press conference to gather more information and urged the public to come forward with any credible evidence or accounts. The response was overwhelming, leading to a flood of sightings and several personal testimonies. As Gordon delved deeper into the stories, the number of UFO sightings in Wytheville increased. His investigative work was meticulous, involving photographing the objects, interviewing multiple eyewitnesses, and compiling a significant amount of evidence supporting the reality of these sightings. His efforts piqued the interest of both the local populace and several national media outlets. It was during this intense period of investigation that Danny Gordon received his first ominous phone call. The caller warned him to stop his UFO research, hinting at potential consequences for his personal safety. Initially dismissing the call as a prank, Gordon continued his investigations. However, the threats escalated. He received another call. This time the caller provided specific details about Gordon's family, clearly meant to intimidate him. Subsequently, Gordon experienced several strange consequences, or rather, occurrences. Unmarked helicopters began flying over his home, and on one occasion, after an interview that delved particularly deep into his findings, he returned home to find his house had been burglarized. Intriguingly, nothing was stolen, but his UFO research files had been conspicuously rifled through. The climax of Danny Gordon's encounter came when he was visited by two men dressed in black suits. These individuals did not identify themselves, nor did they claim any affiliation with any organization. They requested to see his UFO photographs and questioned him about his research. Their demeanor was intimidating, and their questions were invasive, focusing not just on his findings, but also on his sources and his motives for pursuing the story. The men discouraged him from further investigation, hinting that pursuing these matters further was not in his best interest. They left without incident, but the message was clear: cease all UFO-related activities. Shaken by this encounter, Gordon felt the pressure of unseen eyes watching over him, leading to increased stress and anxiety. Following these encounters, Danny Gordon decided to scale back his investigations. The toll on his personal life was severe. He suffered from health issues, which he attributed to the stress brought on by his involvement in the UFO sightings and the subsequent interactions with the Men in Black. Eventually, he withdrew from the investigation completely, citing health and family concerns as his primary reasons. Gordon's experiences had lasting effects on his life and career. He became more cautious and less inclined to pursue stories that could attract unwanted attention from mysterious entities. His encounter with the men in black served as a chilling reminder of the potential risks involved in delving too deeply into the unknown realms of ufology and paranormal activity. Danny Gordon's encounter with the MIB is a stark illustration of the personal risks that can accompany the pursuit of truth in matters of UFOs and the paranormal. It underscores the enduring narrative of the men in black as suppressors of information, serving as a warning to those who might dig too deeply into what is perhaps meant to remain concealed. Gordon's story remains a poignant chapter in the larger saga of the MIB, reflecting the profound impact these figures can have on individual lives and on the broader field of paranormal research. In the summer of 1968, an unusual event unfolded that would add to the mystique of the men in black within the UFO community. The Robinson family, residents of Jersey City, experienced a series of unsettling encounters that left them wary of the unknown and cautious of the dark-suited visitors who briefly entered their lives. Their story, like many involving the men in black, blends elements of the unexplained with the eerily mundane, creating a narrative that has persisted in the annals of UFO lore. The encounter began on a warm July evening. Charles Robinson, an electrician by trade and a casual sky watcher, noticed an unusually shaped object hovering over the Jersey City skyline. It was not the first time Charles had observed strange phenomena in the sky, but this object was distinct in its clarity and proximity. Described as a silvery disk with pulsating lights, it seemed to perform impossible maneuvers at breakneck speeds before suddenly vanishing into the night sky. Excited by his sighting, Charles reported the event to a local UFO research group, which in turn published a brief account in their monthly newsletter. This seemingly innocuous act of sharing his experience was what appeared to draw the attention of the men in black. Approximately 2 weeks after the sighting, while the excitement of the event had begun to wane for the Robinsons, an unexpected visit breathed new life into their story. One afternoon, as Charles returned from work, he found his wife Sandra visibly shaken at home. She recounted that two men in crisp black suits had come to their door, asking to speak with Charles about his quote-unquote astronomical interests. These men did not identify themselves with any governmental or private organization, which immediately struck Sandra as odd. They were both of average height, with deeply pallid skin and an uncanny smoothness to their facial features. Their speech was reportedly devoid of any accent, clipped, and oddly formal, contributing further to their unsettling presence. Sandra described how one of the men repeatedly glanced around the living room as if searching for something out of place, while the other interrogated her about Charles' sighting. They asked pointed questions about what he had seen, how he had reported it, and if he had noticed any unusual behavior in the neighborhood following the sighting. Their tone was not threatening, but their presence and piercing gaze were intimidating enough. What troubled Sandra the most was not just the questions, but the peculiarities that didn't make sense. The men had arrived in a large black sedan, which was oddly spotless, a curious detail given the dusty summer roads of Jersey City. Neither man had accepted any refreshments, and both avoided making any physical contact, even eschewing the common handshake upon meeting. Additionally, the visitors seemed unusually knowledgeable about Charles's activities, citing details about his movements that Sandra had not mentioned. After insisting that Charles cease all research and communication regarding his sighting, they left as abruptly as they had arrived. Sandra attempted to watch where they went, but noted that the vehicle seemed to disappear down the street unusually quickly, almost as if it had vanished into thin air. Quite similar to Dan Aykroyd's experience. The effect of this visit on the Robinson family was profound. Charles became more guarded and less forthcoming about his interests in the unknown, and Sandra was left with a lingering sense of being watched. Over the following weeks, both would occasionally notice unfamiliar cars parked at a distance from their home, and unknown callers would sometimes ring, only to hang up without speaking. Though no further direct encounters with the men in black occurred, the impact lingered. Friends and family noted a change in the Robinsons' demeanor, a newfound reticence and anxiety that had not been present before that summer of '68. The Robinson encounter, when placed alongside other MIB stories, underscores the complexity of such experiences. Whether interpreted as a warning from secretive agencies, a brush with otherworldly entities, or merely an inexplicable oddity, it highlights the intersection of ordinary lives with the extraordinary possibilities that pervade the world of ufology. As with many such encounters, the lack of tangible evidence and the primarily anecdotal nature of the account leave more questions than answers. However, the detailed consistency of this and similar stories contributes to a larger narrative that continues to intrigue and mystify those who dare to look closer at the shadows cast by the unknown. In a world brimming with stories of paranormal occurrences and extraterrestrial encounters, the Men in Black stand out as particularly pervasive figures within ufology and conspiracy lore. While their stories are compelling and often chilling, it's essential to approach these accounts with a critical eye. By examining and debunking some of the popular myths surrounding the Men in Black, we can better understand the line between fact and fiction in these tales. One of the first steps in debunking myths about the Men in Black is closely examining the evidence presented. Many of the stories rely heavily on anecdotal accounts, which, while intriguing, do not constitute robust evidence. Anecdotes are often subject to the fallibilities of human memory and perception, which can be easily influenced by external factors such as media portrayals and existing cultural narratives. Furthermore, despite decades of these stories circulating, there has been a conspicuous absence of concrete evidence such as clear photographs, videos, or reliable physical traces of the Men in Black's existence. In an era where surveillance and personal cameras are ubiquitous, the lack of definitive visual documentation raises significant doubts about the physical reality of these figures. The image of the Men in Black has been significantly shaped and popularized by movies and television, starting from fictional accounts and moving into supposed documentaries and true story adaptations. This media portrayal has created a feedback loop where each representation reinforces and embellishes the myth. As these depictions become more detailed and dramatic, so too do the subsequent personal accounts of encounters with the MIB. This reinforcement extends beyond just visual media. Books, articles, and even documentaries about the paranormal often present the Men in Black in a way that blends fact with fiction, making it difficult for the average consumer to distinguish between the two. The consistent portrayal of these figures as ominous and secretive agents serves to solidify their mythic status rather than clarify the reality of their existence. Many explanations for Men in Black encounters hinge on psychological and social factors. For instance, the phenomenon of social contagion explains how ideas and behaviors can spread through populations, causing individuals to adopt beliefs and report experiences that align with those of others around them. In the case of the Men in Black, people who hear stories about these mysterious figures might be more likely to interpret strange but otherwise mundane encounters as meetings with them, particularly if they are already anxious or fearful due to their interest in UFOs and the paranormal. Moreover, psychological research into phenomena like sleep paralysis and its associated hallucinations provides a basis for understanding some of the more supernatural aspects of Men in Black encounters. Individuals experiencing sleep paralysis might report seeing shadowy figures in their room, which can be misinterpreted as visits from the MIB due to their awareness of the myth. It's also crucial to critically examine the motivations behind reports of Men in Black encounters. In some cases, individuals reporting these encounters may have motivations for fabricating or embellishing stories, such as gaining attention, financial gain from media deals, or promoting a book or film. Scrutinizing these motivations can often provide insights into the credibility of the reports. In addition, many stories about the Men in Black contain internal inconsistencies or implausible details that further cast doubts on their veracity. For example, If the men in black are as capable and technologically advanced as claimed, it seems unlikely that their actions would leave behind the kind of evidence that could be easily exposed or understood by ordinary people. The lack of consistency in how they manage information or silence witnesses also challenges the idea of a well-organized, highly competent group. Debunking the myths surrounding the men in black does not necessarily diminish their value as cultural icons or diminish the curiosities they inspire. Instead, it encourages a more grounded approach to understanding phenomena that intersect the worlds of ufology, conspiracy theories, and paranormal research. By critically analyzing these stories, we can foster a more rational discourse around unexplained phenomena, focusing on verifiable evidence while still appreciating the rich tapestry of human culture and storytelling that creates such captivating narratives. The Men in Black have transcended their origins as mere footnotes in UFO sightings to become a significant part of popular culture. Their impact stretches across movies, literature, and even the collective psyche of those interested in the paranormal and conspiracy theories. This expansion into cultural iconography serves as a mirror reflecting societal fears, fascinations, and the ever persistent question of what lies beyond the known. The portrayal of the Men in Black in media has been instrumental in shaping their modern mythos. What began as obscure reports in the 1950s has exploded into a major cultural phenomenon, largely thanks to the portrayal of these figures in film and television. The Men in Black film series starring Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones is perhaps the most recognizable representation, turning what were once ominous figures into comedic, heroic characters. These films blend the original threatening narratives with humor and action, making the concept more palatable and entertaining for a global audience. Beyond Hollywood, the Men in Black appear in numerous books, from serious investigations into their origins to fictional novels that use the archetype for storytelling purposes. Television shows specializing in the paranormal often feature episodes dedicated to these mysterious figures, sometimes presenting them as shadowy government agents, and other times as something more alien. Each portrayal contributes to the lore, embedding them deeper into the cultural consciousness. The enduring fascination with the MIB highlights deep psychological and societal undercurrents. Psychologically, they represent the fear of the unknown and the intrusion of the inexplicable into our everyday lives. They tap into the primal fear of being watched and controlled, reflecting anxieties about government, surveillance, and personal autonomy. In a world increasingly monitored by technology, the Men in Black symbolize a loss of privacy and the fear that there are higher powers at play manipulating events from behind the scenes. Societally, the Men in Black phenomenon reflects broader themes of distrust in authority and the intrigue with conspiracy theories. They serve as a metaphor for the mechanisms through which power can be exerted over the ordinary citizen, often unseen and unaccountable. Their mysterious nature fuels discussions about transparency, governance, and the boundaries of scientific understanding. Within the communities dedicated to ufology and the paranormal, the Men in Black hold a place of particular curiosity and debate. They are often cited as evidence of government involvement in the suppression of knowledge about extraterrestrial life, serving as a rallying point for those who believe in widespread conspiracies and cover-ups. This role amplifies their significance in discussions and investigations related to UFOs, providing a tangible element to theories that might otherwise lack specificity. Excuse me. For researchers and enthusiasts, dissecting the Men in Black stories is a way to explore how truth can be stranger than fiction, or how fiction can inspire a search for truth. These narratives encourage a critical examination of the sources and motivations behind mysterious reports, pushing for a more discerning and scientific approach to paranormal research. The legacy of the Men in Black is a testament to their ability to capture and hold the public's imagination. They are a prime example of how folklore can evolve, influenced by both the times and technology to remain relevant. They also illustrate how myths can serve functional purposes, acting as vehicles for exploring complex issues like privacy, security, and human interaction with the unknown. As symbols, the Men in Black are versatile, representing both the threat and allure of the greater universe. They remind us of the human capacity for curiosity and fear, driving us to look closer and question deeper. Whether as figments of cultural imagination or as reflections of hidden realities, they challenge our perceptions of the world and our place within it. As we conclude tonight's exploration of the Men in Black, we find ourselves navigating a landscape rich with folklore, media influence, psychological intrigue, and societal reflection. The Men in Black, whether myth or reality, encourage us to question and debate, to fear and to wonder. They are a profound cultural artifact, representing the thin veil between the known and the unknown, the seen and the unseen. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the shadows cast by these figures. Whether they are guardians of secrets, constructs of the collective psyche, or something entirely different, the Men in Black continue to fascinate and provoke. As always, keep looking up and questioning the world beyond the ordinary. Until next time, stay curious and stay spooky. And that wraps up the Men in Black and who they are. And guys, we're almost at an hour and a half. If you enjoyed this episode, please hit the thumbs up, hit the like, subscribe, follow us on Spotify, whatever platform you're on. Shoot us a follow. Leave your comments down below. I'm really curious as to if this is what you guys are looking for. Was it too long and drawn out? Was it dull? Was it too repetitive? Should I stick to the shorter form, or is this perfect? Or do we need to go longer? Let me know your thoughts. I welcome them. Good, bad, indifferent, it doesn't matter. Feedback is going to lead to the changes that are made on this show. Okay, so please, if you want something a certain way or you want to be heard, let me know. We are working on video. For now, we just have pictures that will be going throughout the episode. Eventually, guys, one day, we're going to get to a video podcast, and it's going to be awesome, okay? Next time on BTD, we will be discussing the ancient astronaut theory. Yes, I'm not saying it's aliens, but aliens. I can't wait. One of my favorite topics here. I love the whole Ancient Aliens show, at least when it first started. The first few seasons were solid. But yeah, we're going to be talking about the ancient astronaut theory. We're going to explore the idea that ETs have been visiting Earth in ancient times and influenced human civilizations. We're going to discuss evidence, ancient artifacts, and cultures to believe to have had contact with advanced beings. It's going to be awesome, guys. I'm going to get out of here. I hope you guys enjoyed this show tonight. Please shoot me an email. Let me know. Send me any of your stories, encounters, questions, hellos, what the hell, anything. Send them my way. BeyondTheDarkRadio@Outlook.com. That is BeyondTheDarkRadio@Outlook.com. I'll see you guys next time. This is Jay Rockwell, and this is Uncut, Unfiltered, and it's raw. This is Beyond the Dark. Have a great night. Peace.